Hello, my friend. This is Faisal. I wanted to do a quick video. I'm here in the capital of Canada, in Ottawa. That's actually what you're seeing. On the other side is Quebec, and on this side it's Ontario, the province. But I just came down here for a day, and I was just thinking about how people live their lives. And I just passed by the downtown area. It was very crowded, and everybody was in a rush to get somewhere. And I thought about something, and that's the world that we live in. We live in a very, very interesting time. The last time I did a video about this was related to how the times are changing and how fast it's changing. But I wanted to talk about what is it that people are following and what kind of lives people are leading. Most people, they tend to have a idea of life, and their idea of life is to basically follow along on a path just like everybody else. And what do I mean by that? So most people, whether they live in cities or smaller towns, they live a certain way, and that's related to the kind of job that they do, the kind of life they lead, whether they're bachelor or in a relationship, the kind of future that they want, the kind of experiences that they want in their life. They're kind of based on what other people do. So what I mean by that is that they haven't really put in the time to think about whether or not they want those experiences or not. Because to human beings, it seems very natural to just copy everybody else. And that's a natural aspect of us. We do that naturally. We try to copy other human beings just because we're a social species. But what we find is that not everybody actually in reality want the same experiences, even though they might look at somebody's life and say that, well, that person has a great life. But they're just looking at the surface of that life. But do you really want that life? Have you thought it through? Have you thought it through carefully? Do you want that life where you have a lot of fame? Do you want the life where you have a lot of money? Or do you want the life you just want to where you just want to live a simple life? Or you want to live a life based on adventure or travel? Whatever it is, have you really thought it through? Is that the life for you? And if you have, that's great. But if you haven't, then this might be the time to sit down in quietude and think about the kind of experiences that you want. This is not to make you afraid of the experiences that you want to have in life, but this is just to get you to really think about, are those experiences that I want? Do I want to be in a relationship? Do I want to be traveling the world, let's say? Do I want to be working at a job 9 to 5 for the rest of my life, or for a few years of my life? Is that what I want? And it's not important what you actually do. What's important is if it is an experience that's important for you, it's meaningful for you. And if it is meaningful for you, then go for it. That's great. Whether you choose to stay with that or not is not the point. You might go through the experience of, let's say, living a life where you do a 9 to 5 job for 5-6 years, and you don't like it, but you learn something from that experience. You gain something from that experience. But let's say you pick that experience just because somebody else chose it, just because your parents told you, or just because that's what society does, or that's what society expects of you. Then you'll find that your experiences will be filled with regrets a lot of times. It might be a very safe experience for you to live like that, but it might be filled with regrets. And that's one of the most painful things to deal with, is to deal with regrets in your life. One of the most unanimous things for human beings who are at their deathbed is that they think a lot about their regrets in life. Whether they are at their deathbed at a young age or an older age, what we find across the board is that they think about the experiences that they couldn't have because they just chose not to, because other people might think differently of them. or they were afraid that people will talk negatively of them, or people will reject them, or people would not accept them, or that they will be rejected by society, or it's something taboo to do. But what they almost always realize is that they wish they had experienced what they wanted to do. And that starts with just one idea: to actually sit down in a quiet place, or somewhere by a river or by a lake, or somewhere at home in a quiet place, and think about what kind of experiences you want in life. And really think about the experiences that you are experiencing right now, the kind of life that you're living. Is that what you really want? And if that's what you want, kudos to you. That's great. Experience that. But if that's something you don't want, find a way to change that. You don't have to live the way you're living. It might be hard for some people to change that, but you can go towards one step at a time to change that. You don't have to change your life tomorrow. You can, but you don't have to. You can slowly change it towards an experience you want to have. Whether you want to, let's say, you just want to be your own boss, you can work towards that. Maybe 5 years down the road, 3 years down the road, 2 years down the road, 10 years down the road, you can do that based on your circumstances. But you have to decide to go towards that. And unless you make that decision, nothing will change in your life. A lot of people have dreams, they have goals, that they want to do a lot of things in life, but they never sit down, think about it, and make that decision. And that's the hardest part of it, is to make that decision. Once you make that decision, no matter what the challenges are, you will deal with it. Think about a time in your life where you made a decision, whether it be to, let's say, you decided to marry a girl, or be with a girl, or I don't know, be with somebody else, or you decided to go to a certain school, or you decided to travel to a certain place. That's not an easy decision, but once you were clear on the decision, you made that decision, you somehow made it happen. You somehow went towards that, regardless of the challenges, regardless of the difficulties towards that end. So I urge you, I know this was a bit of a conceptual video, but my challenge to you is today, if you can today, if not tomorrow morning, wake up a bit early, or tonight go to sleep a little bit late. But sit down for half an hour, 1 hour, take a pen and a notepad if you can, and think about the kind of life that you want to live. Think about the kind of experiences that you want to have. And really sit down and think about them, and write it down. And imagine how it would feel to live those experiences. And think about the kind of life you're leading right now. Is that what you truly want? If it is, that's great. That will reaffirm that belief that you want that experience. But if you don't, then think about a way that you can experience what you truly want. Or at least be open to experiencing what you truly want if you can't figure it out then. So I hope this video got you to think a little bit. And I hope you enjoyed this scenery here. Let me make it. It's a nice river behind me. And until my next video, hope you have an amazing day. Bye.